What's up, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Isaac.
And we are Cars and Cameras, and today we are doing a Stage 4 Plus Tillotson 212cc engine build. Last year we did a Stage 4 build, but this is 2019, it's new year, and the game has changed. All these parts are bolt-on, and it's going to be a beast. Over 20 horsepower, 10,000 RPM, new cams, new other parts. This kit is available from GoPowersports.com. You can check it out using a link in the description of this video. It's a big kit. There's a lot to list. So we have a
standard size piston.
Thank you. A billet connecting rod, a camshaft of your choosing, a race head, an optional billet side cover, a billet flywheel, your choice of carburetors. We're using a 24mm flat slide, a clear valve cover, 1.3 ratio rockers, and all kinds of other bits and pieces to finish this up. This is a highly customizable kit, but in our trim, and we'll include what exactly we're using in the description, we should be making over 20 horsepower and, like we said, 10,000 RPM.
All right, dude, before we do anything, I want to make sure this piston fits in the cylinder.
Okay. On the box, it says that piston is standard compression, but when you compare it with the piston that came out of this engine, this one is dished. So I don't know how that compares, but we should be looking at a final compression ratio of like 12.5 to 1.
All right, first things first, we're going to put the rotating assembly together. So we're going to take this crankshaft. And again, all this stuff has been apart for a while in a box, so we have to make sure everything is real clean.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we forgot to mention what this engine is going on. Well, we are going to Virginia International Raceway like next weekend, and we have kind of struck up a deal with the owner that they're going to let us buy a bunch of their retired racing go-karts with like bumpers and everything on them for like real cheap. So the idea is that we take this engine and we swap it onto one of their abandoned go-karts, and we see if we can beat one of their currently used go-karts.
That's the idea.
Yes.
It'll be pretty cool.
Yes, and then after that, this engine's probably going on the Trailmaster for Mini Mayhem.
Ain't no probably about it. It's going up there because that thing is going to hit the drag strip.
Oh yeah, so that's what's happening. All right, back to you.
All right.
So because we're not expert planners, we asked for a Predator Stage 4 kit. And it turns out there are like quite a few differences between a Predator 212 and a Tillotson engine. So the wrist pin is not fitting in our new billet rod. So we have a parts Predator 212 we're gonna take apart and use the wrist pin. But of course, when you're ordering your kit, just be sure to order the right kit for your engine. And you won't have any of these problems. I don't remember what this engine was on, but it locked up, so it's the perfect engine to wrap parts from. Stuff is just flying around. Yep. Yeah. The bolts aren't even in the rod.
Yeah. Took them loose. So here's a tip from Cars and Cameras on how to install your piston rings. So right here we have some oil rings. You can tell which ones are the oil rings because they are the thinnest. And one thin ring goes on top of I'm gonna call it the waffle ring. I'm sure there's a name for it, but I'm gonna call it the waffle ring. And then the other ring goes on the bottom. Now you don't want any of these gaps to line up with each other, so you put them all kind of opposite of each other. You don't want any of them lining up. Taking care not to open up the gap too wide because you can actually damage the rings. Fortunately, this ring is labeled D. That'll be the very next ring to go on. And this ring is shaped, has a perfect rectangle in it. There's no grooves in it. The top ring is going to have a groove, and I'll show you that one next. You can actually buy a tool that helps spread these rings because you want the ring to go around it just wide enough. Now the next ring is the DY ring. and there's a tiny little groove right there at the edge. I don't know if you can see it. See the little shiny? There we go. That's how you install rings on a piston.
So we're starting at 60 inch-pounds, then working our way up to 150, backing it down, then back up to 150.
So I have these little spacers that I put in on the end of the crankshaft for crankshaft in play, and I've already measured it out, and these 3 little spacers go in place. So now I'm ready to put the side cover on, but first I have to put the seal on it. Silicone here where the gaskets meet, and you don't want too much because you don't want it to get inside the engine.
That is pretty.
Isn't it though? There is a difference in the Tillotson. Try this up here. Nope. So, found another difference between the Tillotson and the Predator. The head gasket has a different size holes for the dowel pins. So please, when you order your parts, make sure you tell them exactly what engine you have. So we have some new chromoly push rods, and we need to trim them to fit, so we got to check the length. Oh, there's a difference in length, John.
I don't think that's gonna do.
No.
These are Tillotson.
These are Tillotson.
Those are Predator 212.
These are Predator.
We're learning so much today, guys. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, and in fact, I'll go ahead and I'll loosen these, and I'll just see
If there's that much adjustment in it.
if there's that much.
Totally.
So I've trimmed the old push rods to fit, and I'm pretty confident that I can trim these new ones to fit as well using the old ones. So fingers crossed, guys. So we talked to Taylor at Go Power Sports, and he said to put the lifter in a vise and squeeze it shut. Well, our vise is not big enough, so I just hammered her home using 2 lifters from a 212, and there's the end. The finished product.
Oh yeah, that's some lift. Do you want to explain, since this is the first time we've done it on the channel, do you want to explain how different ratio rockers work in performance?
I think we need to go to the board to do it.
Let's go to the board.
Going to the board. What we have here is 2 different rocker ratios. Right here is the pivot point of the rocker. Pivot point of the rocker.
We're going to say the right one is 1 to 1 and the left one
Exactly.
is 1 to 3.
So 1 to 1, 1 to 3. With the offset in favor of the camshaft side, the valve will actually go up and down further.
All right, so Professor Isaac gave up, so the teacher's assistant John is going to give this a shot. All right, so with 1.3 to 1 ratio rockers versus a 1 to 1 ratio rocker, you're moving the pivot point off of center. 1 to 1 means the pivot point is going to be right on the center. So a 1 input is going to give you a 1 output, if that makes sense. But with a 1.3 to 1 ratio, 1 input is going to give you 1.3 outputs, meaning that 1 unit of movement here is going to give you 1.3 units of movement on the output. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sounds great.
Sweet! So that means we're basically having a larger cam without having to actually have a larger cam. It equals more lift. So for this whole bit, I wrote that wrong. It's actually 1.3 to 1, not 1 to 3, just for clarification's sake. So we are almost ready to put this clear valve cover on. We just need to drill and tap a couple more places for crankcase vent. I don't think we talked about the importance of a roller rocker other than a traditional rocker. So not only are these 1.3 to 1 ratio rockers, they also have rollers, meaning there's basically just less friction, so you're getting more power to the output shaft from the combustion chamber. Just a little bit, but it's like,
Every little bit helps,
Exactly.
especially on smaller engines.
Exactly. We haven't talked about this either. The racing head that comes with the kit has been worked in a few different ways. The intake and exhaust ports have been opened up and smoothed out. It has new valves in it. It has dual valve springs, and it has been shaved as well. So it's really pretty trick, and it comes right from Go Power Sports.
Yep.
So we can do some drilling, and we can install carburetor, header, and we'll be good to go.
Since we're going to be turning this thing about 10,000 RPM, we want the gap to be opened. Okay guys, I'm going to add a couple more holes and tap them so we can install 2 more crankcase vent nipples so we can run some new lines, because when you build these engines, they produce a lot of crankcase pressure, because we're at, what are we, 12.5 to 1 compression? I was close. 12.5 to 1 compression ratio, which is a lot. So let me see if I can drill this without busting a valve cover. And I really don't feel the need of adding the dope to it. The thread dope. Because this is plastic and it should seal. Alright, now all we have to do is find the bolts to put that valve cover on. Don't forget this shield that goes on the back of the head. If you don't put this shield on, you're gonna overheat. I forgot this.
It looks good though.
Yeah, doesn't it though?
The blue and the brass and the clear and it's looking really nice.
So all we're lacking is some engine oil, spark plug, carburetor,
exhaust.
So easy, and we'll be
get it
running
done.
here shortly.
Okay.
I'm gonna start filling this thing up until I see it at the bottom. Hopefully it won't be coming out of the bottom, because I mean, that'll make a mess. Okay, I'm gonna say that's perfect. Dang it! I forgot to put the studs in. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove one bolt at a time and install a stud and retorque it. Alright guys, just saying, it would have been better to put these studs on before putting the head on, but I'm not taking the head back off. So everybody makes a mistake. I made a mistake. We've never put studs in a 212 before, so I just completely
Forgot about it?
forgot about it.
In fact, this is a lot of stuff we've never done before.
Yes.
Never done rockers, never done head studs, never done the billet side cover.
I need, you know those colorful fuel lines?
Yeah, I got it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Sweet. Alright. I wonder if this thing has been, what do they call it? Port matched?
Good question.
Negative.
Negative on port match. I'm gonna continue this thing running.
Yeah.
Ooh, ow. Yeah, alright, it's time to get a new wrench, dude.
It's under warranty.
Yeah. So my Trail 70 is broken down right now. So I'm robbing parts off it. And I understand that that's how things go. One little thing goes bad, then you start robbing parts off it, and that's how something gets like parked for 30 years.
I don't think you can do that with that.
No, I love it too much. Anyway, we had to rob the air filter off of it, just because we don't seem to have any Go Power Sports air filters that are going to work on this kit right now, which is weird. So we're just robbing it. We're going to use it. It should be fine.
It's good enough.
All right. So we actually don't have any of our Sunoco 95 octane fuel here right now. So we're going to take it over to Ike's place where we have a big old drum, and we're going to conveniently break in the cam there so we're not making noise at night in the neighborhood.
Since we're very popular out here right now.
Yeah.
And I imagine this thing is going to be loud.
Making some noise.
Yeah.
Wasn't even everything, was it?
No, it wasn't. That wasn't full beans. So it feels pretty responsive.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get it on something and give her a try.
No, it sounds good. It's got a lumpy idle. You
Yeah.
can tell there's a cam in it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's solid. So the memory card on our camera filled up, but that's okay because we accomplished pretty much everything we wanted to. We put together a 10,000 RPM, 20 plus horsepower, Tillotson 212cc engine with parts from GoPowerSports.com. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Check us out in between videos on Facebook and Instagram at Cars and Cameras Reviews, and stick around because Wednesday we're going up to Virginia International Raceway to pick up some go-karts and swap that built 212 or our built 420 onto one of their retired rental carts. We're doing a little bit of a revival/rescue on some of their old carts, and we're going to see if we can make the old clapped out go-kart chassis beat their new current rental carts. So anyway, subscribe for that and leave a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it today. And come out to Mini Mayhem October 4, 5, 6 at Busco Beach. We're bringing most of our best projects out there to come tear it up with you guys. RSVP on our Facebook page or at cars-cameras.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.